The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the host of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Karsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Hu.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun. And we are back for another week of few news stories.
Yeah, luckily Evan's like, hey, why don't we record on Thursday? Because I was like, well, we're a little scarce on the news. And then Cedar Point decided to drop the Eclipse event info and tickets and everything. So we have a little bit to talk about tonight, which I'm excited about, you know.
We'll make something out of nothing.
Yeah. But I think we'll just jump right in because I know Evan's not feeling too well tonight. So
yeah, I'm gonna be quiet tonight, guys.
Yeah, right. There'll be a little less Evan. So if you're if you
but
like
I'm here.
Less Evan,
That's the important part.
That podcast was great. By the way,
this is gonna be our most streamed episode because it's gonna be the one I talk the least in.
By the way, there is currently. I'm not sure exactly. Hopefully Kyle will get this up tonight. I was going to say there's 86 days, and if we get it up tomorrow, there's going to be 85 days until Cedar Point opens.
I'll get it up tonight.
Perfect. There we go. You heard it here first, folks. So 80, it'll be 85 days tomorrow for Cedar Point to open. And I also have all of the other countdown days on our Facebook page because I decided to do a poll and see if you guys wanted us to create an image every single day for the countdown, which I was kind of not really wanting to do, but everyone with like 300, almost 400 people voted yes, and like 40 people voted no. So I kind of feel obligated to do that. So from here on out, there will at least be a countdown image, and there'll be maybe a random fact every now and again. If I find something, because someone was like, it'd be really cool if you had like a random fact for every single day. Well, I'm not gonna have one for every single day. But anyway, so 85 days until Cedar Point opens, and tomorrow, and same thing goes
until Eclipse Day.
It'll be 59 days until Eclipse Day. It'll be 15 days until Winter Chill Out, and it'll be 81 days until the season pass preview days, which we still don't know any details about that, but hopefully the park will release those in the coming days. Weeks, maybe we'll find out more information at Winter Chill Out. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna say Winter Chill Out announcement day.
Yeah. So anyway, getting that out of the way, we do have a big update, I guess you could say, for Top Thrill 2. I was able to see it at night. Currently, Cedar Point fixed their second webcam. That they have three, but they fixed the second webcam that was looking at Top Thrill 2, and you can see the tower. It's actually lit up at night right now. We're recording at night. But you can actually see, I drove up there when it was nighttime on last Saturday, and I was like, ooh, I haven't seen the park at night. Everything's all lit up like if the park was open. Like Blue Streak was lit up. There was a bunch of stuff lit up. I was like, wow, okay, this is pretty nice. It looked nice. The only gripe I have, and this is just all my gripe, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect the ride at all. I was going to say the beacon lights they do have during the day, they flash white or whatever, a strobe, I guess you could say. And then during the night, I thought they were going to have like a light strobe, kind of similar to what Top Thrill Dragster, the original tower was, and still is. But they actually blink the beacon lights that halfway through, and then also on the top, whatever, so planes and drones and whatever else doesn't hit it, blink red. So it was kind of interesting to see that. I was like, huh, it kind of almost looks like a space shuttle that's going to launch at night, kind of sort of ish, that's like lined up and ready to go. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that at night. Like, it's going to be freaking sweet.
I think that whole midway is going to be something at night. See some. Yeah. There's some opportunity for some really cool lighting.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely agree. And then also I was going to say, we did actually get a brand new pit stop, Top Thrill 2 pit stop video from Tony and the Cedar Point gang, and they showed a ton of stuff. They showed the station area. They showed that they were adding that extra section of the station And they were putting that into place. They were starting to put walkways, and for like exit paths and things like that. You're going to exit down. It sounds like you're going to be able to exit through a tunnel where we saw in the renderings, where you go right into the photo booth that was existing there. I did actually notice on the pit stop, the video, I like eagle-eyed. I paused it. I was just taking notes. I'm a nerd. I know.
You were taking notes
in my head, not writing them.
Okay.
The if anyone's a fan of the, and I mean, these probably can come down in a day, but the what is it called, the seating over there, the
bleachers.
Yes, the bleachers are still up over there. I did see that. It looks like they're going to start work on a lot of the queue line. It looks like they're starting to do. I also did notice that they didn't start. At least I didn't see anything. They still had the old coverings and stuff and everything from Hollow Weekends showing off at the gift shop, the speed shop across from Top Thrill. So that hasn't been raised. And I don't know how long it would take to build a brand new building, or maybe they're not building a brand new building. Maybe they're just going to reprofile it a little bit, or maybe that got cut. I don't know. Maybe it was a budget thing.
Whatever they do, hopefully it stops it from flooding.
Yeah. That was one of the big things that they had an issue, or was the flooding issue. And I'm trying to think anything else. I know that they said that, they're continuing to build the station up. They're building the control panel and the control, the tower, I guess you could say, that, and everything like that.
Overhead booth.
Yes. It'll be exactly like what Gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper.
Yeah. What Gatekeeper is like and everything. So I don't know. What is your thoughts? You got to see the video. I was super pumped as soon as it released. I was like, oh yay, I get to see stuff. And I was like, so.
Yeah, I mean, as per usual, I think I've said this like 600 times, but just every time I see that blue on the station, it's really eye-popping, especially against every spot that the station is, the track is just white. So that blue really, really pops. And I think that's I'm just really excited. More the ambiance and stuff of the Midway. That'll be really, really cool.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. They're starting to put on a little bit of fencing. I saw some fencing and stuff around, and they're putting in the final details and stuff and everything. I mean,
it seems like we're almost getting to the finishing touches, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, if you look at the memory page and stuff, and looking back last year and stuff, you could see they were really hardcore still building the Grand Pavilion. And you saw on Media Day when we got to go and stuff, everything was buttoned up and all the landscaping was done and everything. So it looks like it is not going to make it, and then it's like boom, and then it'll be really cool to be in the park on April 8th to check out on Eclipse Day, to see the progress. I don't know if you'll be able to walk over there. I would assume you would be able to, but who knows? Probably not, because I'm sure the Midway will probably be under construction and they'll probably be paving it.
Yeah, still like a month before opening.
They might. I feel like they might even, I don't know, I think they might even maybe keep it more towards the boardwalk area ish and keep everything else kind of closed off. I don't know. Maybe we'll have free reign of the park besides going over by Top Thrill, but
I think it's going to be like Media Day Part 2.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm super excited. I'm getting ahead of myself talking about what we're going to talk about just in a little bit, but yeah, I think that's all I have. Kyle, do you have your update?
My Top Thrill 2 update?
Yeah, what do you think?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm really excited. I know you said earlier 15 days until Winter Chill Out, and that'll pretty much be my first time seeing it up close in person. I know I saw it from across the bay a couple months ago, but I'm very excited. Going back to what you said at night, I'm in the last tour group of the day, so I'm really hoping that by the time I leave, the sun's kind of set and I can see it at night. And
That'll be nice. Yeah.
if
You're
not,
like, night ride.
yeah, and if not, maybe I'll just drive out of the parking lot very, very slowly, so it is night.
Yeah, you'll have security like with his like, okay, hurry up, keep moving. You're like,
Come on, you dork, get out of here.
You're like, no, I have dinner reservations, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited to see like what this whole Midway turns into. Especially because we've seen other areas of the park get its revitalization and its revamp. We saw it years ago with the Gemini Midway was kind of first, and then Frontier Town got its turn, and then the main Midway with Gatekeeper and Valraven, and it just kind of feels like the little strip between Skyride and Power Tower and Dragster just hasn't been touched in a while, and now we're getting this new headliner coaster, and Power Tower is getting repainted, and it's just gonna bring life and energy back into that part of the park, which has been gone for a couple years now. I can't wait.
And we've seen with the other Cedar Fair parks how good they've been with maybe not even necessarily theming, but just building a new ride or whatever, and just bringing a lot of color and life to an area of the park that wasn't like that beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Especially with Grand Pavilion and Wild Mouse and redoing that whole area too. It just seems like almost every other little part of the park has gotten some love in the past few years, except that little section.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, because I've been looking at all the renderings and things like that, and the videos that Cedar Point's released, and then even the POV that Tony showed us, that hasn't been released yet, like the actual on-ride POV. I was looking at the Midway and stuff more than I was watching the ride, and I was like, there's no hints of anything, so I can't wait to see what comes about. Because I mean, if you think about it, if you get rid of the bleachers, that's a huge area. Like it looks like a tiny area, but if you get rid of the bleachers, that whole area opens up, and you could put like I don't know if they're gonna get all fancy and stuff, but they can put a bunch of like they can split the paths and stuff and everything and make it look really nice, and some like landscaping and stuff like what they did on the boardwalk, that area and stuff. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait.
One thing
like 15 days until winter chill out to hopefully see more. So
one thing I was curious about, and you may or may not know the answer to this, what's happening with the speed shop? Did it get demolished and rebuilt, or is it just getting a renovation? Or
are you talking about that one that's like across, the little teeny tiny one?
No, the big gift shop.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. I didn't see anything from that video. I didn't see anything from my perspective of them touching it yet. So I don't know if it's going to be completely raised or if they're going to recondition
in the something. Top Thrill 2 announcement video, it looked like that was going to be a brand new building. Like it looked like it was going to get raised, and then
that's what I'm kind of hoping for.
Yeah, but I think like Carson said in like the pit stop videos and stuff, it looks like it looks like it hasn't been touched yet, and I can't imagine they'll be able to demolish that and rebuild a whole new building here in a couple of months. But I don't know, we'll see. And winter chill out will probably answer that question.
I was just say maybe it got scratched or something just because of budget. I don't know, something to ask at winter chill out for sure.
And then my other question is, can I still get my humongous snow cone right next to the entrance of the ride?
Those have been gone for a few years, I think.
Top Chill snow cone, right? Top Chill.
Yeah.
I remember that because this is a little bit of a dorky moment, but I remember the opening year for Top Thrill Dragster, they had there was nothing there. It was just a blank spot. And then all of a sudden, I think in like July or something, that randomly just popped up out of nowhere. And I was like, what? And it was Top Chill Snow Cone. I'm like, that's the coolest, coolest name ever for it. And
those snow cones with the cups that literally had plates
I just
on
remember them putting because it was brand obviously when Top Thrill was built or whatever, they had brand new the concrete was super cream white, and you literally everyone would drop all their their snow cone and mixing stuff and everything like in front of there and all around, and you just see all these red and blue stains all over the nice brand new concrete. It was something.
Oh my God, and the amount of bees that were always near those things.
Yes. Yeah.
Ugh.
And then
That's one thing.
my last little hope is, did we ever hear what was happening with the freestyle stand underneath the bleachers?
No, but I hope it stays.
Me too.
I hope it stays, or if it leaves, I hope it like they either build a small little building that maybe they put it where, maybe they could put it where that little CP shop that I thought you were talking about, where they sell like
the one
just
by
little knick-knack stuff or whatever.
Corkscrew.
Yeah, that little teeny tiny one, or maybe they could possibly, if they do completely like redesign the gift shop, maybe they can the speed zone, maybe they can have it like on the side where the vending machines used to be and have it be kind of like that. I don't know.
They've been so focused on having those freestyle machines. I can't picture them actually removing any.
I'm also curious to see when they're gonna, because I know the freestyle machines, like there are newer, I guess you could say, with like the touch screen when you push to dispense. They still have the touch button, at least as far as I know, all around the park and stuff. So I'm curious. That might be a good winter chill out question as well to ask and be like, hey, when are you guys gonna upgrade? Because some of those freestyle machines, like you can tell they're kind of old because they move a little slow.
My local Wawa has one of the touchscreen, like touch button ones, and it's nice. And it dispenses the pebble ice, like the small chewy ice. And I hope if they get new ones there, they make the switch to pebble ice.
We're gonna make a new shirt that like follow the rundown on the front, and on the back says hashtag pebble ice.
It is the superior ice.
I do have to agree with you. Whenever I go to Sonic, I'm like, oh yes, please.
Yep.
Anyway, Kyle, you want to talk about the big event that was just dropped into our laps today? They finally released all the details to the total eclipse of the point.
Total eclipse of the point. Yeah. And I have to give us credit because I don't know if it was last episode or the one before I was talking about, once we hear about it, it'll be 3 weeks before we talk about it. We're talking about it on the day.
On the day.
And it's not even like it dropped and we're like, oh my God, we have to record tonight. We were already planning on recording tonight.
Yep.
Proud of us.
We did.
I'll read the little synopsis here for Total Eclipse of the Point. Join us for Total Eclipse of the Point, a once-in-a-lifetime celestial celebration as Cedar Point sits directly in the path of totality. Visit the park before anyone else to experience the thrill of select rides on the boardwalk in Kitty Kingdom, or savor specialty food and drinks at the Grand Pavilion Restaurant and Bar, all while enjoying a live DJ, kids' activities, games, and more. From the sandy shores of the beach to the elevated viewing decks at Grand Pavilion, Cedar Point is the place to be for this historic event. This is a limited capacity event, so make sure you reserve your spot before it sells out. Yeah, that's about it. And then there is a little disclaimer at the bottom that season passes will not be valid to visit the park or utilize parking during this event.
Yeah, I think there was a bunch of people that were asking on our post, whatever. They were like, "Oh, does the season pass get in there?" Like, no, it doesn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't. They're like, it doesn't get you a discount either. You want to talk a little bit about the packages?
Yeah, so there are 3 packages, and of the 3, one is completely sold out. That is the last one we'll talk about. But the first one is Total Eclipse admission, and it is $99. And that gets you admission to the park for the event, plus parking, Eclipse viewing glasses, a commemorative event lanyard, and 2 souvenir buttons. And once again,
Evan's happy about the buttons.
Yes, yeah. I am.
Once again,
Evan's like I don't even care about the Eclipse, and I probably have to like go to a graduation that day, but I'm totally going because it has buttons.
Do we think these will be factored into the this year's button stop?
Yeah, probably.
That'll be interesting because I mean
they'll be like numbered 1 and 2.
Will these be like
the
ultra rares that you'll never be able to get throughout the season?
Those will be like super ultra rare.
Like when Wicked Twister closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When Wicked
Interesting.
Twister closed too, they had a associate button too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is when I worked at the park for Erie Estate. I was already signed on to work, even
Nice.
though Wicked Twister closed in September on Labor Day. But I was already an employee, even though I hadn't actually started working yet. So I was able to get a button.
All right.
So
the second package is the Total Eclipse bundle, and that gets you admission and parking, Eclipse viewing glasses, a commemorative event lanyard, 2 souvenir buttons, and a single meal deal voucher.
So really, just you pay $20 for a single meal deal.
Yep.
You're basically just prepaying for your
pretty much your food.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
and that price point is $120. Mm-hmm. And then the last package, which is sold out already, starts at $199. But when I was looking this morning, I wasn't going to buy, but I was just looking. It looked like there were a couple different tiers, and the more expensive one was like, what, $240, something like that. You remember that, Karsten?
I don't. Yes, I do actually. I do. Yeah, because that was actually. You keep talking, and I'll look it up because I think I screenshot it.
Okay. Yeah. So the last one is the Total Eclipse VIP experience, and it is labeled Totality Awesome VIP Experience, and that gets you admission and parking, glasses, a lanyard, 2 souvenir buttons, a single meal deal voucher, and then a 30-minute exclusive VIP experience, including views from atop Valraven. And I remember that when I was reading about this, the reason that it was more expensive is you could actually pay to be up there during the totality, and that was a higher price point.
That was between $230 and $330. Yeah. It was $229. So, and the other one was $199. But yeah, I'm happy to say that Justin, our awesome announcer, and myself, we went all out and did the VIP experience, the one that sold out. So we'll be on top of Valraven, or as he likes to call it, and this isn't our way of calling it, but he totally said to give him a shout out when we record tonight. But he's like, make sure you call it what I call it. And I'm like, all right, fine. So he likes to call Valraven Volverin. So he's like, make sure you say that. So yeah, so we'll be on top of Volverin, as Justin likes to say it, but on top of Valraven. and a little
bit of backstory. He does that because all the idiot people that don't know how to pronounce the names of rides. And whatever Valraven was the one that he decided to pick on.
Right. Yeah. And he's a fan of that coaster too, so I'm kind of surprised on that. But I'm super excited about it because it was $199, but I was talking with Justin. I mean, during the season they do the VIP experience on top of Valraven, and you can do the Sunrise tour for, I believe it's $299, I believe. Quote me if I'm wrong. I'm not. It might be $199. It might be $199. But anyway, even if it is $199, still I get to experience the Eclipse for free, and in a sense, I guess you could say, just because of that. So I'm super excited to check out Top Thrill 2 from on top of Valraven. That'll be really cool. Obviously I've never been on any of the coasters on top of like Lift Hills or anything at Cedar Point, so that'll be my first time, even though I haven't got to do it a few times, and that was a sham.
Just once. And Top Thrill 2 Spike wasn't there yet, so
yes, yeah. So I'm excited about it. Definitely make sure you check out the page for some pictures and some video.
And I mean, like, another way of looking at it is that you're basically getting that $200 or $300 tour for $100, and the only thing that's missing is the fact that you won't be on like the first train of the day or whatever,
right?
Because Valraven won't be running.
Yeah. So,
and then at the bottom of the page, it does mention the menu that will be available that day at Grand Pavilion, and it will be.
It does.
It does. Did you not see this?
Wow, you're such a foodie. You're losing your touch.
Look, man, I'm sick.
All right. Well, are you ready for me to tell you, Evan?
I'm listening.
All right. Upgrade to a bundle and add a single-day meal deal at the Grand Pavilion Restaurant and Bar. Enjoy a selection of out-of-this-world delights like honey glazed chicken drumsticks, ginger soy eye of round, funnel cake shrimp, galaxy cheesecake brownie bars, moon pies, specialty cocktails, and more.
So it sounds like kind of like hints of what they normally have at Grand Pavilion, funnel cake shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I saw steak, so I'm like, hey.
Yeah, steak with different seasoning than they did last year, but okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And some specialty desserts, which I could so totally see like cupcakes that they made to look like the Eclipse.
Yeah, right.
Or like with a little like
I'm not gonna lie,
moon on top of it or whatever.
I really hope that they have merch for this. I really hope that they have like,
and I will buy all of it.
They literally have a shirt that says whatever. Like, oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
Kind of a side note, but the local hockey team, the Cleveland Monsters, they have a game like 2 days before the Eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
And they made the game start at 3:15 because that's what time the Eclipse starts. And they're selling like special ticket packages that get you a shirt with like the moon crossing over the Monsters logo. So I could totally see something like that. Cedar Point does with an Eclipse themed T-shirt.
I love it. By the way, I was gonna say, I'm not. Are you done reading that page? I was gonna say there's also some more stuff down below.
I was gonna mention the hotel next.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a special promo code if you would like to stay on site during this event, and it will entail you to up to 40% off the best published rates over the Eclipse weekend between April 5th and April 8th, valid at Sawmill Creek and Castaway Bay. And I don't know, I'm actually going to look to see if there's still rooms available and how much they are, because I know that most hotels in Sandusky and motels in Sandusky right now for that weekend are like $400 a night.
Yeah, I was going to say it's whoever lives like over in this part of Ohio and stuff and everything, it's supposed to be like bad. It's supposed to be really, really bad to where, I mean, I've got my city's doing, they're doing like a big like campsites of like 2 or 300 people or whatever in this random like camps. It's not even a campsite. It's literally a baseball field, and they're like turning it in, and they're charging like $300 or $400 for people to stay like out of state and stuff. And I'm just like, holy crap. Like, it's insane.
All right. Are you ready for these price tags?
Oh boy.
Yes.
A standard room with 2 double beds at Castaway Bay is being sold for $556.20.
Wow.
Wow.
Nuts.
Now, I should mention that is for the entire stay. Which
okay.
I pumped in for check-in on the 5th and check-out on the 8th.
Okay.
So I guess that's not terrible. And then if you want to stay in the...
Oh, wait, that's you said it's 500 for the whole entire, like the total?
That's what it's, so yeah, I have check-in on April 5th and check-out on April 8th, and it says...
That's not a bad, that's not horrible.
Total first stay before tax is $556.20. And then if you would like a suite, you can get a standard suite with 1 queen bed and 2 double beds for $718.
Okay.
And that's it for Castaway Bay. And then Sawmill Creek.
I was going to say, Castaway Bay, like, if anybody doesn't know, they completely, like, redesigned that whole entire hotel. And so it's, like, pretty much brand new. And it also has, like, it's exclusive, like, indoor water park. And they've got, like, slides and, I think, like, a lazy river, wave pool, things like that and stuff.
Is Castaway Bay...
If you're looking for extra dinner, so...
Is Castaway Bay year-round at this point? I thought they always closed for a couple months, like in, like, January.
I think they're year-round, but, like, in the middle of January, you might be hard... I don't think you could get, like, a Tuesday night. I think it's, like, weekend operation only.
And then going over to Sawmill, a standard room for those nights is being sold for $466.20.
That's not bad.
No, I'm trying to figure out what these ranges are, because at Castaway Bay, the range is $556.20 to $1,289.40. But I cannot find the room or the package that's $1,000.
$1,000. I don't know if you mentioned this at the top. I was going to say the park is open. Obviously, you must have a ticket. Like, you can't just get in there with your season pass. Like, you have to have a ticket, and it will sell out. So make sure if you want to buy it, buy a ticket. Because, I mean, the next Eclipse, at least in our neck of the woods, is supposed to be, I think, in like 2099 or something. So we'll all be dead by then. Unless we turn into robots or something. But it's cool because, like, you know, the park's going to be open from 12 p.m. until 6 p.m. So, you know,
you never
Evan
get
and
to
I-
ride rides at Cedar Point that early in the year.
yeah, we saw for clarity, we just saw Wild Mouse on the webcam today from Tony Clark that it was testing. It was testing.
Already.
Now, granted, I mean, Ohio weather is just on something right now. It was like 4 degrees below zero like a week ago or something, and now today it's literally like it was 66 degrees outside on February 8th. So,
Hey, maybe if it keeps up, we'll get to ride Wild House at Winter Chill Out too.
and you know, I was thinking, I was gonna say, this kind of makes me think that maybe they might see the turnout for this event and see. I mean, I'm happy that the big VIP package sold out already for $199. Like, that's nice to see, but I'm wondering if this could be like putting out feelers to see, like, hey,
For like
what happened?
preseason events, like little.
Maybe they'll be like, hey, come check out a preseason event, or we're having a food tasting or something for this week or weekend or something. We're going to open up the park, you know, in April or something. I don't know. Maybe long term.
It's so weather dependent too.
Maybe this could be a test.
It could snow up until
Right.
Memorial Day.
maybe this could be a test of being like, hey, what's the turnout going to be like? And maybe, you know what, this turnout was pretty big. Maybe we could try to shoot our shot at Winterfest. I know everyone's like, oh no, you know, you never know. I've heard from multiple people that it could be on the table, and I've heard from multiple people that it couldn't be. So I just never know anymore. But I don't know. I'm excited.
One
about
more
it.
The
thing.
best I could see is a Winterfest light, like do a Hotel Breakers is open and at Christmas.
And this could be something like that, you know. This could be like they're trying out the Grand Pavilion and the restaurant, and, you know, that little boardwalky area, and then maybe have like Hotel Breakers open and see Sienna or something there. I don't know. And yeah, like have some lights and stuff and everything, you know.
One more thing for the hotels. It does look like you have to stay the entire 3 nights to get the deal.
Okay.
You can't just check in on the 5th and check out on the 6th, or, you know, whatever. You have to stay from the 5th to the 8th, or it won't even populate that there's rooms available.
Okay. Well, maybe those rooms are already sold out, because I know that a lot of people said they got their hotel and everything before something went.
Yeah,
sold
I
out
mean,
or something.
$556 for 3 nights. I was seeing motels in Sandusky going for like $400 a night, so I guess that's not bad.
Staying in a brand new kind of like resortish. I mean, I don't see it being super bad. So, you know,
Yeah, that's pretty darn good.
interesting. Well, I can't wait for the event. I know, Evan, you're going. I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of our friends are going and stuff. So we'll be able to ride some rides at Cedar Point in April. Which is,
Yeah, that'll be really cool. That'll be a fun event.
yeah. Might be cold and snowing and whatever, but you never know.
Or it could be 80 degrees.
Exactly. That's why we live in Ohio.
Yeah. I'm curious what the weather was last year on that day. Sandusky weather, April 8th, 2023.
It was, I bet you it was probably like 45 degrees.
It was 46 degrees with sunny, clear sky.
Wow, I was pretty close on that. Wow.
Hey, I like the sunny, clear sky. That's what we need for the eclipse.
Right? Yeah. So,
Oh,
Kyle,
well.
did you have any more to add to that?
Nope. That's it.
All right. Well, I'm going to move things along here and talk about our last little news segment that dropped, I think, earlier this week. Yeah, I think it was like Monday, maybe. I can't remember. All the days blend together for me, unfortunately. But we did actually get some Top Thrill 2 news that wasn't actually related really to Top Thrill 2 specifically. It was Cedar Point's Fastlane. They released pricing. You can go on their website and go to Cedar Point, or just Google Cedar Point Fastlane, and it'll show you Fastlane and Fastlane Plus. Something that came out of left field for me, and I like the change, is if you buy a single Fastlane, obviously it's not going to be including Top Thrill 2. You know, it's not going to include the big rides. It's going to have like, you know, Magnum, Rougarou, Raptor, those kinds of rides.
Millennium, I think, is the big one that's on that.
Is Millennium on there? I didn't know. It's not.
Yeah, and then Plus is.
It is not.
No, and then Plus is Dragster.
Oh, is it? Okay, because I was reading. I don't know why they wouldn't put it in the little description. Then I'll let you. Let me look. So anyway, Fastlane Plus does include Top Thrill 2. While Evan's getting the official word on that.
Okay, no, yeah. It's so Plus is Maverick, Millennium, Vengeance, Top Thrill 2, and Valraven.
Yep. So if you get Fastlane, you like the coasters that I said before Evan chimed in. Those are the ones you're good. Those are the big ones that you'll be able to do. 22 rides. But then if you want to do, you know, the Steel Vengeance and Maverick and Millennium and Valraven, all those ones, also with Top Thrill 2, you get the Fastlane Plus. But there's a caveat to that. If you buy it, obviously, you know, it's still got that, like a steeper price than the Fastlane. But you only get a one-time access to Top Thrill 2. What does that mean? It means literally you get to ride Top Thrill 2 one time. And
with your Fastlane.
All the other rides and coasters and whatever you can ride unlimited times, but just Top Thrill 2, you can only ride one time per visit, or
which I think is completely fair.
Yeah, I think so too, because like I feel like the people that would have, you know, would probably just get the Fastlane Plus and they would just load up all of those queue lines and stuff. And maybe this could also be like a test and seeing like, hey, how's this going to work out? Are people going to still buy it, kind of thing? You know, like something like that. But
look, you're going to get to ride a ride that's going to regularly have a 2.5 hour wait for 10 minutes or less, because the Fastlane line is now controlled. There's not going to be such a ridiculous push to the Fastlane. So you're still getting your money's worth.
I was going to say, if you want to get unlimited rides to Top Thrill 2, you have to spend lots of money up front. So you have to spend, at least currently right now, it says $950 to get the all-season Fastlane Plus Pass added onto your season pass. But that includes all of the Fastlane, you know, all the Fastlane Plus rides, including Top Thrill 2. But you also get unlimited rides on Top Thrill 2. And I saw a bunch of people were like, oh man, that really sucks, to where I think it's actually a selling measure per se, because you could be like, hey, you know what? If you really, really want to ride Top Thrill 2 as many times as you want, you got to buy the all season Fastlane for it, kind of thing. And I think that's fair. I think that's gonna probably like regulate the line, like you said, Evan. You know, I think that's going to be a lot.
It'll keep the regular line moving too, you know, because they won't have to send train after train half full of Fastlane people.
Right.
This could be only for this year too. I mean, it's going to be. I don't think anybody understands how busy that ride is going to be day in and day out.
Yeah.
So anything that they could do to just make everybody happy, and I think this is a really good step in that direction. Now, my question is, you know, you and I are Prestige Pass holders, and we get the one-time per visit Fastlane. Now, this is my first year as a Prestige Pass holder, but I believe we were able to use your one-time daily Fastlane on the Plus rides, right?
Yeah, that I believe.
Will we be able to on Top Thrill 2?
That's a good
If
question.
Not, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I just want to know.
That would also be another, enticing aspect of being like, hey, I need to buy, a prestige pass so that way I get the one-time fast lane, per visit
Right.
when I,
Right.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Okay. That's something to think about. But yeah, so I don't know, Kyle. I mean, like you got the Genie Plus down there for Disney, and you got the Express Pass for Universal. What is your thoughts on all of this?
So, first of all, I'm not one that will ever buy a cut the line system for the sole purpose of re-riding the same ride all day. Like I'm good for like 2 or 3, and then I'm out normally. However, down where I live, this is not an entirely new idea, as you just kind of alluded to. Over at SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, I mean, they've been doing this for years. Iron Gwazi was a one-time. Pipeline was a one-time. Pantheon, Dark Coaster.
They both are still.
They both are still, yeah. Yeah, same with, Pantheon and Dark Coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Those have been, in that policy for years, where, you buy the quick queue and you get one ride on the big new ride. And then obviously, like you said, over at Universal, when we do have new rides open here, I'm a Premier Pass holder at Universal. So one of my benefits is daily Express after 4, good for one time on every ride that accepts Express. But a lot of times, at Universal, when rides open, they don't accept Express. And then it's only, a couple years later that they get added to the system. And then even then, it's only one time per day. So I think if this were me personally, I don't think I would be too upset about this experience, just because, especially at a park like Cedar Point, you do have so much more to do. But I can see, some of the enthusiasts who had it set in their head that they were going to go to Cedar Point in July and shell out the money for Fastlane Plus and Marathon all day long on Top Thrill 2. I could see them being a little upset. Like I said, for me, I actually kind of like this move. I think it'll be good to regulate the line like that on a ride where, one, we don't know how it's going to operate yet. We don't really know what kind of a capacity we're going to be able to push through, or load times, or, down times, anything like that. It kind of saves them from a overpromise and underdeliver if you're selling Fastlane Pluses with the idea that you're going to be able to go and marathon this thing all day. Now it kind of manages expectations, kind of like Evan said, it's going to be a 2.5 hour wait, but you'll get on in 20 minutes and, you'll get your one for the day. And if you want to ride it again, well, go wait in the regular line.
And there's ways that you can even, okay, so I'm a fast lane. I got my fast lane. But I want to ride Top Thrill multiple times. Get to the park at opening, rope drop it, get on it quickly in the morning without your fast lane, and then park closes at 10. Get in line for it at 9:45. And then you ride it once in the middle of the day with your fast lane. You're still going to get 3 rides, and without really taking away time from
you just gotta plan
your other stuff
really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's anytime I'm in Florida. That's how I operate with those one-time fast lane or express or whatever they call it at any given park, or when I had express at Universal about a year ago, Velocicoaster wasn't even an express ride at that point. Like, didn't matter that you had express it. You couldn't ride Velocicoaster with it.
So
what did I do? I got in line for it right at opening, right at closing, and I got easy rides on it.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as there is enough to do at your park that the only one time on that ride isn't like, it'd be different if your park had 3 coasters, right?
Right.
And you could only do their big coaster once. But at a place like Cedar Point, where you have so many, and even flat rides and everything, I'm a big fan of this. But
Cedar Point will be okay. Cedar Point will be a-okay with this.
Like I know that you pay the money with the expectation to not wait in line, but I'm really okay with kind of regulating this thing until we see how reliably it's going to operate, how consistently we can dispatch trains, and until
And
we
there's
really.
nothing saying that in July they don't look at the ride and be like, wow, it's been super reliable. We've been pumping through the line.
Yeah.
Let's let them ride twice.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Or
do
just
whatever
take
they
it
want,
off that one time thing,
Yeah. Sure.
On the flip side of this, I go to Disney a lot, and kind of like I think you mentioned, Carson, they have the Genie Plus where you can pay to skip the line on certain attractions, and if you're not paying to do Genie Plus on some of their bigger rides, it sucks because they they sell so many individual Genie Pluses, lightning lanes, whatever they're called, that it's like, oh, well, the merge ratio is 100 from lightning lane and 2 from standby.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean, Karsten, when you were down here last year at around this time for the Daytona 500, we went to Hollywood Studios, and that happened to us on Rise of the Resistance. They had sold so many of these, and then the ride went down for a couple hours, and suddenly, you were selling, let's just say, 800 an hour. Suddenly, you're 2,400 people behind. I would hate for something like that to happen on Top Thrill 2, where the fast lane line is just bogged so far down that it kills the experience for the regular guests in the standby line. So I'm a big fan of this.
I'm curious to see if maybe past perks they use them a lot more this coming year, and maybe they throw out like, hey, free fast lane plus or whatever for top just a single use, literally just a single attraction use to some of those people that have the past perks and everything that they've got going on. Or I'm also curious, they haven't I was just taking a peek at Cedar Point's website. They still haven't released their early entry rides for 2024. So I'm curious to see if Top Thrill 2 will be on early entry rides. Because if that's the case, you might be able to squeak out 4 rides if you really play your time management correctly and get there, like Evan said, rope drop it as soon as you can, get over there and get in line, ride one, and then you might be able to get 2 like right off the rip, because sometimes people are kind of slow meandering over yonder over there, so it'll be interesting to see. So, but I don't know, I think like what Kyle was saying, I think it is a step in the right direction, and I think they might be testing it out, kind of dipping their toes in the water and seeing like what works, what doesn't work, and maybe there'll be adjustments throughout 2024 season and see what comes about.
I really hate to say this, I do, but I think this policy should be in place at Steel Vengeance too.
I was literally thinking that, but I was going to say too, I think this year Cedar Point, although maybe they never actually said anything like this, but it seemed like either they stopped selling as many fast lanes per day, or they outpriced a lot of people, because it didn't seem that this 2023 season the fast lane lines were as just stupid as they had been in 2021 and 2022.
I mean, I know you guys went a lot more than I did, but I'm going to share my experience that I had at Cedar Point this year. I went one day. It was a Monday in May. I bought Fastlane Plus, and I still waited an hour for Steel Vengeance with no downtime.
Well, maybe this was more. The more I think about it, the more I realize I'm only drawing really on experiences towards the end of the year. But I just don't remember seeing the just like at Steel Vengeance the like long fast lane lines. It seemed like everything usually said 15 minutes for the fast lane.
Yeah, and maybe my day was a fluke, but this was
or maybe at that point they hadn't actually changed anything yet, and towards the end of the season they did.
Yeah, and this being the first year that I did not have the blessing of being a repeat visitor throughout the season, it really left a bad taste in my mouth. Of I came all this way. I shelled out all this money, and every other ride, is great, but I'm still waiting an hour for Steel Vengeance. It just
now. Granted, you could be waiting, Granted, if you were waiting in the regular line, you could be waiting 2.5 hours. So I mean,
that is very true, and
that is the other side of the coin, where Cedar Point has also said repeatedly that it's to wait less. It's not to wait, a 5-minute wait. Now, obviously, in our perfect mind, and then we go to Universal and Disney and things like that, and normally their fast lane program or whatever you want to call it, you're waiting maybe 15 minutes tops. But when you have to wait an hour and you spend all that money and stuff.
I mean, when I had Express at Universal, that was over President's Day weekend last year. Granted, that's a very busy weekend, but we paid a lot of money for Express, and I was not that pleased with it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were still waiting 30, 35 minutes for everything.
Yeah.
See, normally since I use Express Universal a lot, Velocicoaster is normally the only one where you have that really long line.
And we were there on a Saturday of President's Day weekend. The park was probably busier than it is most days. I mean, 365 days a year, that was probably the top 5 busiest day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. I've visited at this point in my life damn near every Cedar Fair park, and at most of them I have had Fastlane Plus. I've either bought it or, gotten it some other way, but at almost every Cedar Fair park I have purchased Fastlane Plus, and it works so well at some of the other parks, like Kings Island
especially.
Kings Island, Canada's Wonderland, Knott's Berry Farm. Go ahead.
I think it's just because like Cedar Point is more of a resort-ish and people are on their vacation. So I think people are more inclined to spend $300 or $400 for their group to buy all of fast lanes, and they're like, we're on vacation, just put it on the budget. Whatever.
I think
know what I mean, to where you
that's
go
a very good point.
You go for a day at Kings Island or something, and you're like, we'll be back like the next week or the next week after that. You know what I mean? That I think that's why there's such that big issue with Fastlane and trying to.
That's a very good point.
That's a great point, but I look at it for 2 points of view for that point. One, don't oversell the premium product. That's a responsibility on the park.
Agree.
2, look at the merge points on some of these rides at Cedar Point.
Millennium
Force comes to mind, where it merges at the very, very end of the ramp, and then you still have, on a good day, at least a 25-minute wait.
Yeah.
After you get through before the merge point. So I mean, versus a ride like Orion at Kings Island, where you go right up to the station.
Yeah.
I really like the Fastlane programs. I don't utilize them that much, but when I'm on vacation or I'm at a park for only a day, I think it's a great option to get everything done. I'm a really big fan of this limiting it to once a day, because like you said, there are other ways to do it. As a whole, I think the Cedar Point Fastlane Plus program needs a little bit of work. But like you said, Evan, I'm glad to hear that it seems to be trending in the right direction. And
I feel like if Cedar Point would have been like, oh hey, by the way, we're doing 2 rides. You're only gonna be able to ride once. I think the general public would have been like, "What? I can only ride Steel Vengeance 1 and also Top Thrill 2 once with buying a Fastlane Plus for the day? What?" To where I think that they might ease everybody into it this year, see how it goes, and then if they see that the lines are kind of like not as long as whatever, they might implement it and say, you know what, we're doing it next year also at Steel Vengeance to make your fast lane plus lines or fast lane lines shorter or something like that,
Well, and I want to point out too that when Steel Vengeance had its issues its opening year, they took it off of fast lane completely.
Yeah.
So this is better than that.
and I think of it from a guest satisfaction point of view as well, right? I, as a Fastlane Plus guest, only get to ride Top Thrill 2 at one time. But since I only get to ride it one time and the Fastlane line is much more manageable throughout the day, I'm getting on the ride quicker than I would if everybody had unlimited access to it. I'm going to get on it in probably half the time.
Yep.
And if I'm not a Fastlane guest, I'm a regular guest standing in the standby line, my line is now going to move quicker because they don't have to accommodate as many Fastlane guests. Like
Yep.
it's a
Right.
win-win
They
scenario.
can only
for,
send through two fast lane people per cycle,
yeah,
as opposed to having to do a whole train just to
exactly.
keep that line manageable.
And we do have to say, I can't remember who's in charge of it. I remember they said it at one of the Q&As, but they monitor fast lane lines. Like they do. They say they look at them, they make sure they try to measure them. And I think we noticed that, this year that they didn't seem to, that they oversold their fast lanes as much as they have in the past. And I think they've learned from that. And I think that's good. Buy your fast lanes early. If you want fast lane for whatever specific day and stuff, because sometimes like when you get to the park, it's already sold out. So
Yep.
And I don't know if they still do this, but there used to always be the deal of if you were a platinum pass holder, you could buy regular fast. No, I'm getting my head shaken. No.
Unfortunately,
No. They did used to do that, but they stopped.
Yeah, I know they did used to do that. The deal was if you.
They also don't have a platinum pass anymore either.
Well, I didn't know if like they just kept the same policy, but now it's prestige instead of platinum.
I think they
I could
got
totally
rid of that.
see that being a pass perk. Like,
That
hey,
was
here's
a
a one-time
great
coupon.
That was a great perk, and that was around for a while. Like I was shocked how long that was around for. But
I had a kind of opposite perk for that. You guys remember when they used to do, if you renewed your pass before the season ended, every pass holder got a free Fastlane Plus to use for the year.
yes,
I would always go to guest services and get those traded out for freight lanes because there were four people in my family, and I would take all 4 passes and get 4 freight lanes and then use them for the entirety of the Hollow Weekend season.
nice.
I liked doing that a lot better than the fast lane for a day. Like I got to spread it out throughout the entire 8 weeks of Hollow Weekends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh,
Well, I think that's it. I mean, we talked about a lot about the fast lane topic, and
yeah, we stayed on a lot longer than I thought, and my throat hurts, and I want to quit. So,
Evan, you want to talk about our next episode? I think it's probably gonna be next week because the following week I'm gonna be down in Florida.
yeah, I mean, quite obviously, I'm not feeling great. So this was stuff that we were probably going to talk about this week, but we could kind of flesh it out a little bit. I think next week's going to be kind of a break from Cedar Point talk, although I'm sure we'll find something to mention about Cedar Point.
Oh yes.
But Kyle, down in your neck of the woods, a certain theme park company at Universal Studios decided to release a lot of new information about their brand new theme park, Epic Universe. And
yes, they did.
I think we haven't if we haven't made it clear already, all 3 of us are huge fans of Universal Studios.
Yes.
So we're going to dedicate a good amount of time to talk about Epic Universe and what's to come with that and all that good stuff.
Yeah, Epic Universe is actually like kind of on my way to work, so I drive by it a lot, and it's really starting to spring up.
It's awesome. I love it. There's like so many tall cranes and stuff and everything when you drive by. There used to be like 40 or 50 cranes up in the sky. I don't know if there's as many, but
the one hotel, the Nova Hotel, that's been built, at least like the outside of it, for like almost 8 months now. Like it's been up for a while.
They started putting like there's like some kind of tiling, I think, or whatever on the side of it.
Reflective tiling.
And you can see like it changes colors in the sunlight and stuff. It looks so freaking cool.
Yeah.
So
We'll talk about that next week, and then Carson, like you said, you're going to be gone.
Yep.
So we'll probably take the following week off, and then we'll probably have
will have
3 Winter Chill Out announcements. And then we'll have Winter Chill Out to talk about the week after that. So
yeah, Karsten will be down with me at the Daytona 500 that week, and then that weekend I'm on a plane back to Ohio to go to Winter Chill Out.
Hey,
there you go.
He's following me.
Yeah, except I'm leaving a few days after you. I'm not leaving until Friday night.
Yeah.
But all right.
I can't be too jealous. I was just at Busch Gardens.
Yeah, that you were. I'm hoping to go this weekend. I haven't been there since the last time you were here, so hoping to get down there.
Jeez.
But
I hope.
As we said, be sure to tune in next week when we'll probably talk about Cedar Fair a little bit, but mostly the Epic Universe Mega Show. That's all I got.
Yeah, I already said everything I need to say, and hopefully I could talk without my throat catching fire next week.
Make sure you share this to all of your friends and rate us on the podcast app that you listen to. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
That's going to do it. Take it away, Justin.
Thank you for listening to the Rundown on Fun. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Cedar Fair. As always, be kind to your ride operators, and we will see you on the Midway. Good night.